Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy Gazza9919 here, and today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be changing Norman's seats from these sort of cheap tatty cloth to some Zetacast full levers. As you can see, I've just been to pick them up. You can't see them that brilliantly because they're just sort of in there. They're quite pricey, but to be fair, they're in really good condition. I paid $190 for them, which, you know, it was fair because they've even got the clips for the front seats. They're still intact, which is really rare to find them with those. And with the rear seats, where the seatbelt connector sort of clips in when it's not being used, all of those are intact, which I find that a lot of the time they tend to be broken due to impatient passengers just literally yeeting them out. Now I've had a look at the seats, and for the passenger side, it looks like the little wire that connects, that looks to be pretty much the same, so let's hope it should be all good on that. It's basically, the front ones are the easiest, they're just like the 4 bolts. The back ones, I haven't actually done the back ones before, but today we're going to figure it out, we're going to see how we do it. Let's get on with it. Right then, so the first thing I've done is disconnected the battery because there are the 2 little cables that go into, one into the passenger seat and one into the driver's seat. Actually, I don't think there's one that goes in the driver's seat, I think it's just the passenger seat. But we'll find out anyway when we come to take them off. I'm going to start with the hardest first, the back seat. So I want to begin by literally taking all these bolts out. These two, these two, these two, these two, and these two. And then there's a clip on either side to actually release the seats. If you're wondering what sort of nut it is a T40 Torx. So the reason we need to take these off is just basically so that when you put it back on, you can just clip them in. There's one on the other side as well. All it is just 2 little teeth here. I don't know how well you can see that, but they're like spring loaded. So one of them will spring back, this one, and then that one will spring back, or whichever way you prefer to do it, but that's what I found worked best. And then you can pull it out. You do need to unbolt here where the seatbelt connects as well. And then that one is a big one, it's a T55. Right then, so it's the same story on this side, where it's basically just that clip again, and like I say, the 2 spring loaded sort of hooks that come round. I just took the front one off first and then the back one. If you feel down the side, you can actually feel a little sort of leverage point, I guess you could call it. But yeah, that's this one out the way now. So if you're wondering how to get these out, all it is just get a flat head behind them, and they simply pop out like that, and that's all it is really. And then there's a couple of Torx behind there. I think there's one behind there as well. You just want to unscrew them. These require a T40 Torx. And now that's those 2 loose, we are now nice and loosey-goosey. I don't believe there is anything still attached, or I at least hope there isn't. No, wicked. And it's always cool lifting up seats like this because you can see, you can find all sorts. Sometimes it's absolutely ditched under here. Sometimes you find pennies and stuff, but I mean, to be fair, like all in all, I don't think the condition of this is that bad. Onto the front seats, the driver and the passenger are pretty much the same. Excuse the random miscellaneous items that are just knocking about in the car. It's basically a Torx on each corner, so one there, and then 2 at the front. Passenger, one there, and another 2 at the front. But the difference is with the passenger, Don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there is a cable under there that does need disconnecting. So we'll have a look at that when we've got this out. For these front seats, you will need a Torx 50. Right, so the seat is all the way forward, and this is like the amount of access I've got. So to make life a little bit easier, I'm going to use one of these. You might get away with just using the standard extension if you have one, but if you have one of these, it probably would be best to use it, just so you know you've got a bit more swing room, a bit more access. It's just probably worth a try. Alternatively, the better option would probably just be if you can pull this off, because this trim pulls off here on the side, so you can just pull that off and sort of wedge it down a tad so you can get the bolt out. While I'm back here, I might as well do the rear driver side bolts as well while I'm at it. Thankfully, this driver side rear one is a bit more generous and gives you a bit more room. Can I do this one-handed? I wonder. Yes, I can. I'm officially ripped. No, I'm kidding, my ego ain't that big. Right, that's the front seat out, so if we have a little look, there is no cable under here, so I was right, it is just the passenger side. So this now is just it. Yeah. Huh, wheel nuts, well, chuck them back there for the moment. Now, I've got to say, I think I'm going to vacuum the car out before I put the new seats in, because there are areas which I can now access which I probably couldn't have been able to access with the seats in. It's looking a bit grimy under here. We've got like McDonald's chips and that, so, or fries should I say, sugar wrappers, so I think it's about due for a clean, to be honest. Even in the seeable parts of the footwell, my car is a bit gross, so let's get the vacuum on it. Oh, after we get the passenger seat out. Now there is just one more thing, and that is this cable, and if my memory serves me right, it's just literally pushing both the little clips. Well, no, there's one clip on this side, push that in and that comes straight out. And this is the exact reason why I disconnected the battery, because I know it could just be paranoia, but say if something was to trip and the car thinks it's having an accident, the airbags could potentially deploy. I guess there's a small chance of it, but like I said, I just like to be safe than sorry. Now I think I'm just going to give the whole interior a vacuum, and I'll show you guys some before and after. Right then guys, so I have reattached these side bits prior to putting them back in the car, as basically when we put these in now, obviously I'm going to tighten these bolts because my toolkit's in the car, but anyway, when we put these back in, we're going to want to line them up. They've got little locating holes like right here on either side, and these bits will basically just slot back into those spring loaded slots, and it'll be in there securely, and then it's just a case of tightening all the bolts. But obviously before that, we've got to get the bottom bit in, which to be honest I think I'll do first, because then I've got something nice to sit on for when I do the front seats.
Right, so I've just put the passenger seat in. Do not forget to reconnect that cable. Make sure that is connected.
I've put this in and we have got the two fronts in that just need bolting down, and that is exactly what I'm going to do now. And also, that's what I mean about the clips. Has both clips on both sides. It's all good. All the rails seem to line up properly. I just haven't put that in right there, so it just needs shifting over. So let's get these bolts in.
Just something to quickly note, when you do plug this back in, I just realised my mistake. I went around the outside of it, like the outside of the bar, and realising that can probably cause quite a bit of wear over time, so I decided to sort of go from the middle and then plug it in that way. Just giving you guys a heads up, because I don't know what could happen if that one of the cables was to break.
So this is what I was talking about, where if you connect this thing first, as you can see it's got a little prong sticking out, slot straight in there, and you're well away. And it's just a case of bolting these back up, and exactly the same on the other side. But first I think I'm going to sort this seatbelt out. Obviously you've got to disconnect it, and it's got a little locating pin there where that slots into, quite handy. But first, before I even think of bolting that down, I want to make sure my seatbelt's straight, because if there's one thing that'll bug the hell out of me, it'll be if my seatbelt is not straight, which in this case it is. So I'm going to get this located and back in. Oh, and also you want to make sure this connector bit of the seatbelt is poking through, because you don't want to tighten it all up, put the seat back, and then that's just like that. So you've got to go around the houses again. I don't know if you could put it through, but you won't really want to risk damaging your brand new seats, so just make sure that's through. So that is everything bolted in, all of them. Now the final test. Does it click in? Beautiful, that clicks in wicked. And just check the functionality, really good. So there we have it, leather seats. I'm not going to pull that one back because I need to get out the boot yet. Oh god. Already I'm getting old, guys. Wicked. So now let's have a look at the before and after shots.
Perfect. Perfect.
£190. I don't think I can complain, you know? That's not a bad price for this interior whatsoever. It feels so much more comfier. My back doesn't feel like it's about to fall to pieces. I think this will benefit a lot when it comes to like long driving and stuff, and maybe on the country roads it feels like it might hold you in a tiny bit more, but I don't know, I don't think it's got as much support as like say the ST seats. But I mean, personally I could have gone for the ST seats, but the reason I didn't is because I really did prefer the full leather finish instead of the part leather part cloth. So that's why I opted for the Zetec S ones. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. If you did find this video helpful, or if you just genuinely enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, maybe even hit that bell icon for notifications on future uploads. But until the next time, guys, peace.